connectors and connecting words in English. So you sometimes get a question on this as well. So we'll do a few of them just to give you an idea about what this is. So you may not find these words as transition words in the lectures, but I think in week, if I'm not wrong, let me just check. This should be week 11 or so. You have lectures on contrast words, connecting ideas between and within sentences, and a few others, degree adverbs, etc. We already looked at adverbs of comment, viewpoint, and focus in the last class. So this one is a combined activity on mostly contrast words and a few of them for connecting ideas between and within sentences, which is basically transition words. Also just a sort of introduction to degree adverbs. Okay, degree adverbs are a little easy to understand, so not much of exercise on that, but mostly on the contrast words and connecting ideas between and within sentences. Okay, that's what we're going to do here. You have a set of 4 exercises here, all of them relating to the topics that I just mentioned. So we'll straight away start looking at the sentences and see how it works. So the first few, the first 3 are all standalone sentences, and the last one is like passage sorts. Okay, it's an extract that I have taken off an article just to give you an idea on how it works in a longer article. Okay, a longer write-up. Okay, we'll start. You can take a look at each one of them, think about it, and tell me what words would you use to finish up this sentence. The first one is dash, he's arriving late. He still wants to meet her when he gets here. Okay, you need a quick review on, although I personally think that is not something that you should have done, but I don't mind doing a review. Do you want me to look at a quick review of what these words are? Yes, no? Are you guys still with me? Are there people still connected, or are you not able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. So what all do you see before we begin? What all do you use for connecting ideas between and within sentences? Or let's begin with contrast words. Okay, what do you understand about contrast words? Can you tell me a few contrast words that you know?
Although, even though,
Yes,
rather.
correct.
Yet.
Yeah. The most commonly used one is but, right? Then you have although. You have though, right? Though is actually a shortened form of although, and in speech, the difference in the usage of though in speech and writing is when used in speech, mostly it appears at the end of the sentence, right? So I might go to the college though. Okay, again, expresses contrast, but when you use though at the end of the sentence, it's basically a feature of the speech, the spoken language than the written language, right? At the beginning or in the middle, elsewhere in the sentence, by middle I mean elsewhere in the sentence, can be done in the writing form, but not in the speech form. Or to be more precise, when though appears at the end of the sentence, it's mostly the speech variety, not a written variety, okay? So that's there, although and though. When you use although, the results come first, okay, and the expectation comes next. It's like that. Then other contrast words include even though, right? You also mentioned even though. So even though also not very different in meaning from though and although, but it is usually used to express disappointment. Okay, the usage is that. And also stronger form of although. That's what even though is. That's one thing. Then another one includes, however, a long list actually. However, nevertheless, nonetheless, despite, in spite of. Okay, all of them are examples of contrast words, and they mean the same. Despite and in spite of, they have similar meanings, but the usage has to be a little be wary of, because do not write despite of. This is a common mistake we see. There is nothing like despite of. The usage is actually in spite of. Okay, because of the similarity in meaning and the way it sounds so similar to each other, people also have a tendency to say despite of. That's a wrong usage. There's no usage as such. Despite of. In spite of is the right usage. And keep in mind, when you have expressions like the fact that in a sentence, usually the contrast word used along with the phrase the fact that is either despite or in spite of. Both of them can be used. Okay, so in case in a sentence you have something like the expression the fact that. Okay, say for example, I decided to go for the trip dash the fact that my parents objected to it. Something, no, the sentence is that. Because of the presence of, actually anything can go in there if I did not have the expression the fact that. Okay, but because of the presence of this expression the fact that, I decided to go for the trip dash the fact that my parents objected to it. The presence of the fact that attracts two contrast words, namely despite and in spite of. Okay, either of this can fit in there, but even though the fact that, or although the fact that, or however the fact that are wrong expressions. If you remove the fact that from that sentence, then majority of the other contrast words can go in. But if you have the fact that, then despite or in spite of. Okay, these are just basic things. But more things. So this is about contrast words, but generally about connecting ideas between the sentences or within the sentences. Okay, you can use several other expressions, and these expressions are either conjunctions, right? If I'm to talk about their word class, they could be conjunctions, they could be adverbs, right? Which means they can talk to you about the manner in how something has happened. The connection can be made with respect to the manner, with respect to time or place or sequence or chronology, all of them, or frequency, right? All of them then perform the tasks of adverbs. So they could either be adverbs, they could be simple conjunctions, right? Coordinating or subordinating conjunctions. Or they could be simple prepositional phrases, right? Like as a result, or in summary, etc. Or you could also have just normal prepositions, right? Not phrases, but just prepositions like for or that or something of that sort. Or expressions like so, but, and, or punctuations, right? You also have a set of punctuations which can do this function of connecting, colon, dash, semicolon, comma, right? All of this then become part of connecting ideas between and among sentences. And okay, so I already mentioned this, right? Adding ideas, contrasting ideas, talking about time, right? All of these are related to adverbs. And then within that, there are several other categories. All of this is part of the lecture. You could go back and listen to the lecture carefully for getting a list of all of them. And how do you do that, right? We'll look at the exercise so that it's clearer for us. Let's take a look at it. So what's the first one, do you think? Now you have like a quick gist of things with you. Use that to fill in the blanks here. The first one, dash, he's arriving late. He still wants to meet her when he gets here. What do you think would be a possible answer?
Although.
A little louder.
Although.
Although he's arriving late, he still wants to meet her. Yeah, it satisfies the condition, right? So although or though or anything you can use. That sounds fine there. Second one, I handed my...
Though also we can use, ma'am. Though.
Sorry?
Though we cannot use, ma'am.
We can use, that's what I'm saying. Anything that has an equally replaceable meaning goes there. Okay. Although, even though most of the times they can be used they're equally replaceable. They have the same meaning. There are certain conditions where you cannot use, like the one I mentioned about though, right? If it's at the end of the sentence, then usually you cannot have although in the other things. And if you're using though at the end of the sentence, then it is not wrong. It just means that you're using an informal variety of sentence. That's all. Okay, which means it's common in speech. Okay, second one. I handed my work on time, dash the fact that I had been ill all day. You have the expression the fact that.
In spite of the fact.
or despite.
See, this is exactly what I was saying. It's not despite of. I just mentioned you can't say despite of. It's only in spite of. Despite comes on its own. Despite the fact that, not despite of the fact that. Either you say despite the fact that, or you say in spite of the fact that. Okay.
Ma'am, whenever the fact that comes, we can use only in spite of or despite.
Yes, that's right. Okay, third one, even dash you told me several times, I still forgot.
Even though.
Though, okay, so you either put though, or even, the whole of that could be used as a transition word, even though, right? So yes, though, since even is already given here, we don't have any other choice here. So you use though. Fourth one, I won the race, dash coming last in the practice run.
In spite of.
In spite of coming last in the practice run. Yes, that's correct. Or you can also say despite coming last in the practice run. So another structure that you should keep in mind is this. Okay, the ing form. This one also is preceded with despite or in spite of. Other things cannot. You can't say I won the race although coming last in the practice run, though or however. None of the others will go along with it. This structure, this ing, when you see along with the word, usually the contrast word or the transition word used is despite or in spite of. So two criteria you have. One is this one, the fact that, okay, and the second is this ing. Both of these are important. The fifth one, the children won't keep quiet, dash, I have asked you to stop 3 times.
Even though. Even though.
Yeah, you can avoid you there and maybe do it as such.
Even though.
Even though I have asked to stop 3 times, although I have asked to stop 3 times, though I have asked to stop 3 times, all of them fine. Sixth one, dash my careful planning, we ended booking a really bad hotel.
In spite of.
In spite of my careful planning, despite my careful planning. Yes, correct. Here, see,
So whenever my is possible.
Sorry?
So whenever after the dash, whenever my comes, we should use in spite of.
Yes, this one. Because of the structure, you see the ing there. My and careful are merely adjectives to this thing, right? Careful is an adverb and my is treated here like an adjective. So no matter what precedes it, the structure you need to be careful while using despite and in spite of is ing. Okay, since you have it here, despite or in spite of would be the most appropriate option to choose from. Okay. All right. Now, seventh one, dash having dinner. Again, you have the ing. Having dinner, we sat together and talked for a long time.
In spite of.
Yes, in spite of or despite. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Together. What is that? This seems to be some problem with the construction of that sentence, meaning wise. But okay, the rule doesn't change. Oh, okay. So this was meant to be for the other thing, but it's okay. We don't look at this actually. The right answer for that blank should have been while. Okay, while having dinner, we sat together and talked for a long time. This doesn't fit the choice of transition words here, but this is an example of what can you tell me? When do we use while? To connect what sorts of ideas? What is while actually?
Continuing.
Same time.
No, what category of word is while? Is it conjunction or preposition, or it's a conjunction? Okay, we use while. This is usually used to connect ideas within a single sentence, right? So this isn't an example of a transition word. It does not help you understand transition for sure. Okay, but this is also a connector. Okay, no doubts about that. This somehow crept into this, but not a transition for sure. Okay, answer is while having dinner. Eighth one. I saw him go into his room and 15 minutes dash he returned to the living room. This is again not within transition words, but you can answer this. This is also connected.
Before.
15 minutes before he returned to the living room. I saw him go into his room. 15 minutes before. No.
After.
Yeah, you can either say after or you can say later. Okay, both are right. Use after or later. Before will not give you a good meaning. Okay, though grammatically it fits, it would not give you any meaningful answer. He was tired dash happy. 9th one. He was tired dash happy. This is an
Though.
example of contrast.
Though.
Sorry?
Though.
He was tired though happy. No.
Yet.
Which one?
Yet.
Spell it.
Y-E-T.
He was tired yet happy. Huh, that can go. You can use he was tired yet happy, or you can simply say he was tired but happy. Okay, that's also fine. Yet is also correct, but is also correct. In southern France, the winters are quite mild. Dash in the month, they can be cold. Sorry, in the north, it can be cold. In southern France, the winters are quite mild. Dash in the north, they can be cold.
However.
But in the north, they can be cold. Was there any other answer?
However.
However, in the north, they can be cold. Yes, that's also correct. That's correct. 11th, profits have increased over the past months. Now there's a full stop after that. The next sentence, we start the new year in a strong financial position. Profits have increased over the past months, dash, we start the new year in a strong financial position. So, therefore, okay, anything. Or you can say consequently.
Ma'am, if we use so, we need to use comma, right, ma'am?
We have to use a comma, yes, that's right. So we start the new year in a strong financial position. There's a comma that needs to precede we, right? So
but therefore also.
Yes, therefore, consequently, as a result, okay, all of this can be used there. And all of them needs to be followed by a comma. That's right. 12th one, profits have increased over the past months. Another one, there's a full stop again there. And then we are not in a strong financial position.
But
said they are in a strong financial position. So this is an example of adding the word, whatever though you would add here is just adding to the first sentence. The second one, however, is a contrast sentence. 12th example. Yes.
But
we are not in a strong financial position. However, we are not in a strong financial position. Yeah, all of that. Okay.
But after month, there is a full stop. Then we can we use but?
We can use but. We just said no, we can use but. No problem with that. There are few people who would say that it is wrong, but there is a wide usage of but in the beginning. So that's not a big issue. These things matter only when it comes to formal writing, not even writing. Okay. In formal writings, beginning with, ending with prepositions, beginning with and but and all that is actually prohibited. But other forms of writing do take in them. So that's not a problem. When you're documenting something, submitting, say, a report or proposal or anything which is more formal and professional, in such cases, but isn't allowed. But otherwise, it's fine. Okay. 13th, yes. In the developing world, salaries are, so what is this? In the developing world, there should have been a comma, which the developing world salaries are low. There's a full stop again. Then goods cannot always be produced more cheaply. In the developing world, salaries are low. Then dash goods cannot always be produced more cheaply.
So,
Okay. You can use anything that contrasts the idea because it says cannot, right? So you can use any word that would go in, which gives you the contrasting meaning. Okay. 14th one, Nitin was cold, dash he put on his coat. So, okay. A simple thing that can go there is so. Anything else? Any other options that you want to put? Hence, therefore, okay, anything which means the same as so can go in there. There's so much rain lately. Maybe it's because of El Nino. Dash, maybe it is just a coincidence. Another word which can be used as a connector.
or.
Or. Okay. Or. Alternatively is also, I'm sorry, to give, to provide options and choices, you use the connector or. Okay. There's so much rain lately. Maybe it's because of El Nino. Or maybe it is just a coincidence. Okay. The lecture, 16th one, the lecture was cancelled. Dash went to the party instead. I think should be subject is missing. Yeah. The lecture was cancelled.
So.
So we went to the party instead. Okay. Here you don't need the comma because this is one full sentence. Okay. There's a comma separation there. If it was a full stop, then you will have to use the other rule of so followed by comma. Okay. So we went to the party instead. 17th one. Many species of wildlife are becoming extinct. Okay. Many species of wildlife are becoming extinct. Dash the rainforests are being destroyed.
Because of.
Since.
Since the rainforests are being destroyed, or anything else that you want to use.
Because
the rainforests are being destroyed. Then anything that you use to give reasons, you can use anything that gives reasons. Okay, yeah. As a result, or in consequence, okay, or things like so does, hence, therefore, consequently, all of them, they all help you talk about reasons. Then next one, dash logging provides jobs and profits. The government is reluctant to control it. So is the second part of the sentence in continuation with the first, or is it in contrast with the other? Is it adding or is it contrasting? Dash logging
Contrasting.
provides jobs and profits. The government is reluctant to control it.
Contrast, ma'am.
How is it contrast?
Government is reluctant to control it.
Government is reluctant to control it, but
Since
oh, no, wait. If it is in contrast, then what will you use?
What is logging, ma'am?
If you use, what is logging? Logging is a, how do I explain that? You know this, see, it is, in some countries, it's also considered illegal to do those things. It's an activity that includes, are you able to hear me? Am I still connected? It says,
Yes, ma'am. Tree cutting.
Sorry?
Cutting, removing trees.
Okay, you can hear me, no? Tree cutting, but it is not like normal tree cutting. It is for big industrial purposes, okay? It's
Okay,
not just, random tree cutting that you see in and around you. Logging is much more like a organized activity. It is like a business thing, okay? The labors are not part of the organized sector. However, all of this that is taken is for bigger industries and, bigger firms. So that is how it is different from.
So though will be used. Though.
If you use though logging provides jobs and profits, the government is reluctant to control it. Does that make sense?
No, ma'am.
No, right. So yeah, I think Prashant already said since. So the government is reluctant to control it because it is able to provide jobs and profits. Okay. So since it provides jobs and profit, they're finding it a little difficult to, or they are reluctant to control it. So it's adding basically both of them, right? It should
Yes,
not be
ma'am.
permitted, but they are not able to stop it because it is providing jobs and profits. Okay, profits for the people who are in the industry and jobs to the laborers who are doing it. That's what it means. Because of these reasons, since. So since is used as a connector to show reason for why something is not done. Okay, so this is not in contrast. Both the parts of the sentence is actually adding on to each other. Okay, one giving the reason for the other. Get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right. Okay. Next one. Hemp was grown throughout history, dash its versatility. It can be used to make many different things. There's a semicolon there. So this is separated out sentence. Hemp was grown throughout history, dash its versatility. It can be used to make many different things. So you have to check whether the first and the second sentence is in contrast or are they adding to each other?
Adding, ma'am.
Adding, right? So what will you provide there? Could be a word or a phrase, like I said.
Because of.
Because of, or you can say due to, okay? Hemp was grown throughout history due to its versatility. It can be used to make many different things or because of its versatility. Anything is fine. That adds to the meal. Now the 20th one, hemp is related to marijuana plant. Semicolon, again, next separate sentence. There's a comma also before after the dash. It is illegal in many countries. Hemp is related to a marijuana plant.
So?
So it is illegal in many countries. Okay. Correct. Now, next is 21. Hemp can be used to make paper. Dash, it could reduce the need for logging.
So?
So, or more something, this is to give reason, right? So something.
Because.
No. Hemp can be used to make paper because it could reduce the need for logging.
Since?
Because it can reduce, because it could reduce the need for logging. Okay, that can also go. Hemp can be used to make paper because it could reduce the need for logging. Okay.
Since?
You can, since it could reduce the need for logging, yes, that can go. Or you could also, I'm thinking if you can use hence. Hemp can be used to make paper. Okay, yeah, you can use because, or you can use since, or you can even use therefore, hence, etc. also. Okay, therefore it could reduce the need for logging. All of them, any of them can be used.
Because also can be used.
Sorry?
Can be used because also.
Can be used because. No, see here because, oh, 21st sentence, no? Because it could, yeah, we can use that also. But then there is a comma there. So I do not know if you can, there is no need of using comma before because. So I think other words, since or therefore and all can maybe go. Because should also be a fine option. Yeah, you can actually use because, since, therefore, hence, all of them can go, no problem. Okay, 22nd one, hemp cannot be used to produce marijuana, dash its low THC content. Reasoning. Due to or because of, any of this can go. 23rd, marijuana is less toxic than alcohol or tobacco, dash, and there's a comma. Some people believe it should be legalized. So, or hence, or therefore, so consequently, as a result, anything could go. 24th, dash, Canada has legalized hemp farming. We can expect to see pulp and paper produced from hemp very soon.
Since.
Reasoning again, this is right. You can use since. Since Canada has legalized hemp farming, we can expect to see pulp and paper produced from hemp very soon. Okay. All right. Now, the second one is rewriting sentences using one of the transition words given in the bracket. First one is, he suffered multiple injuries. Second sentence, he escaped the deadly road accident. You need to connect both of these sentences using the transition words.
Nevertheless.
Sorry, what?
Nevertheless.
Nevertheless, let's see. So how will you rewrite the sentence? Tell me the sentence.
Consecutive.
Sorry? Tell me the sentence using this transition word, the complete sentence.
He suffered multiple injuries. Nevertheless, he escaped the deadly road accident.
He suffered multiple injuries. Full stop. Nevertheless, comma, he escaped the deadly road accident. Okay.
Furthermore.
I didn't hear you.
Furthermore.
No, not furthermore. Furthermore, see, this is a contrasting thing, no? That something has happened, but something else has happened. That continuation would have been that if the person suffered multiple injuries, something, bad should have happened to them, right? But that is not how it is. The two sentences are in contrast. So furthermore is a transition word that you use to add to what has been given, right? The context here is of contrast. So you'll have to use nevertheless. Nevertheless is the one that you use to show contrast. Furthermore is to show addition. Nevertheless is the correct one. Second, gadgets are useful. Some of them are difficult to use. On the other hand, furthermore, for instance. On the other hand, furthermore, for instance.
On the other hand.
Yeah. Whatever the answer is, just let me know in full.
Gadgets are useful. On the other hand, some of them are difficult to use.
Gadgets are useful. On the other hand, some of them are difficult to use. So what is this on the other hand? Does it show contrast or addition, or does it show reason and concession?
Contrast.
Contrast. Okay, contrast. Okay, third one, I requested a report. Second sentence, I received no response. However, conversely, in addition.
I requested a report. However, I received no response.
I requested a report. However, I received no response. Okay. Correct. Fourth one, the order was delivered late. The products were damaged.
Moreover, order was
Moreover.
delivered late. Moreover, the
Yeah.
products were damaged.
Correct. The order was delivered late. Moreover, the products were damaged. So the second sentence is an addition to the first one, right? Not in contrast.
So we can use furthermore also.
You can use furthermore also. But furthermore is like a very, very formal usage. Okay. You don't use them in normal situations. It's not wrong, but contextually, moreover would be a better word to use. Furthermore is like very formal. They used in quite formal situations. Fifth one, she won the race. She was awarded the gold medal. Besides, consequently, likewise.
Consequently,
Yes. So
she
what
won the
is
race.
sentence?
Consequently, she was awarded the gold medal.
Correct. She won the race. Consequently, she was awarded the gold medal. Okay. All right. Same thing again. Exercise 3. Rewrite the sentences using. Now, this time you are not given any words. You'll have to pick up one on your own. First one, she wasn't very rich. She gave money to the poor.
Although she gave money to the poor.
No.
Although.
Right, but your order is wrong. You can use although.
Gave money to the poor, even though
although she wasn't very rich.
She gave money to the poor, even though she wasn't very rich. That's correct, Prashant. Or you should also say, although she gave money to the poor, she wasn't very rich. Or sorry, although she wasn't very rich, she gave money to the poor. Okay. Both are okay. Second one, he left early. He wanted to reach the office on time.
He wanted to reach the office on time, so he left early.
Okay. Any other method to do this? That answer is right.
He left early because he wanted to reach the office on time.
Correct. That's also correct. Right. Third one, there was a lot of noise. I managed to sleep.
I managed to sleep even though there was a lot of noise.
Okay. I managed to sleep even though there was a lot of noise, or there was a lot of noise. However,
although there was a lot of noise, I managed to sleep.
Yes, that's also correct. Although there was a lot of noise, I managed to sleep, or there was a lot of noise. However, I managed to sleep. And the first one with even though, that's all correct. All of them right. Now, fourth one, I like classical music. My friend prefers pop.
I like classical music. On the other hand, my friend prefers pop.
Okay. On the other hand, my friend prefers pop.
But
my friend prefers pop. Okay, that's also okay. All right. Whereas my friend prefers pop, that's also correct. While my friend prefers pop, that's also correct. Anything that shows preference and choice to show contrast, that can be used. Okay. Now, this is the last one we're going to do. This is like a passage. Okay. So this has a mix of everything. This will have transition words. This has some degree adverb. Okay. 1 or 2 blanks on degree adverbs. One on adverbs. What is that called? Viewpoint adverb. And a few other blanks on transitions also. Okay. So we'll read this and try and see what the answers are. If you're a shopaholic, the thrill of snatching Black Friday deals may offer some welcome distraction to everything going on in the world. But do you know why the day is called Black Friday?
Really?
Sorry?
Do you really know?
Really know. Okay, really know. Adverb of degree, really know why the day is called Black Friday. Correct. Maybe you're familiar with the wholesome supposed origin story of Black Friday. It goes something like this. Dash tryptophan happy shoppers would flood local shops and malls the day after Thanksgiving. And that surge in spending was enough to put retailers in the black for the year. That's a sentence.
Many.
Sorry?
Many.
Many tryptophan happy shoppers. Okay. Or any other words that you can use? Many. Okay. Many goes.
A lot of.
A lot of may not be a good choice. A lot of shoppers. No. Many is fine. You can even use several, but any other examples? Can you use a prepositional phrase, because we are not doing quantifiers now. We are actually doing connectors. They can also act as the choice is grammatically correct, but if you are asked to use a connector, then many and several are not connectors. Think about it. What connector can you use?
Since.
Sorry, louder, please.
Since.
Didn't get you.
Since.
Tryptophan. Happy shoppers would flood local shops and no. If you have to use since, then there has to be some reasoning that follows. That is not there. Since tryptophan happy shoppers would flood local shops and malls the day after Thanksgiving, and that's a no. Think about a prepositional phrase. Okay, so the answer could be something like for years. Okay, the original article uses the prepositional phrase for years. Okay, for years, tryptophan happy shoppers, okay, would flood local shops and malls the day after Thanksgiving, and that surge in spending was enough to put retailers in the black for the year. Okay, so that clause already there in the sentence. The blank will take the phrase for years. It's a prepositional phrase. This is also used to connect between the sentences. Okay, so you have two methods. One is within the sentences and the other is between sentences, right? So this is an example of that prepositional phrase for years. Adverbs are also used to connect between sentences. This one we used as a preposition phrase for years. Now, next blank, dash the Friday following Thanksgiving was dubbed Black Friday, and it became the unofficial start of the happy holiday season. This is easy. What will you use?
Since.
Read the sentence together and you'll get the answer. It goes something like this. For years, tryptophan happy shoppers would flood local shops and malls the day after Thanksgiving, and that surge in spending was enough to put retailers in the black for the year. Dash the Friday following Thanksgiving was dubbed Black Friday, and it became the unofficial start of the happy holiday season.
Consequently.
Consequently, so, therefore, hence, okay, anything. Now, except that wasn't always how the phrase was used. Dash the retail industry put a tidy little spin on Black Friday. It had a much more sinister meaning. Dash the retail industry put a tidy little spin on Black Friday. It had a much more sinister meaning. This is a sentence that shows chronology. So you can use certain words which we use in chronology or we use for sequencing.
Consequently. Consequently.
Can't hear you. I'm sorry. Little louder.
Consequently.
Consequently, no.
Following which?
Following which the retail industry put a tidy little spin. No, no. The first part and the second part are in sequence, and you have to decide what sequence is it. What comes after and before?
Then
No. Answer is before. Before the retail industry put a tidy little spin on Black Friday, it had a much more sinister meaning, which means that today Black Friday is considered as that day when you have heavy discounts and people go shopping and all that. You see these days, right? All these online shopping sites, they run Black Friday sales, right? So before it got this, rather positive meaning, it had a very sinister meaning before. It means that it had a negative meaning before. So that's the meaning of the sentence. Before the retail industry put a tidy little spin on Black Friday, it had a much more sinister meaning. That's how you have to see. So sequencing. So earlier it had a sinister meaning. Now probably a little more, balanced, more tilting towards the positive side. Now the name Big
can we use
Friday.
earlier also, ma'am?
No, earlier is not sequencing. It does not show sequencing, right? Earlier the retail industry put no. The name Big Friday didn't stick, comma, continued efforts to put a positive spin on the day eventually paid off. The name Big Friday didn't stick, dash, continued efforts to put a positive spin on the day eventually paid off.
But
Continued efforts to put a positive spin on the day eventually paid off. Okay. Dash, most customers associate Black Friday with the black ink retailers from increased sales.
so
Seen from the increased sales.
most
I'm missing the seen from increased sales. What is it? Sorry.
ma'am. So
Most customers associate Black Friday with the black ink retailers seen from increased sales. Yes, correct. Okay, now retailers have little concern today with the origin of the name. Dash have taken full advantage of its global recognition as a day to make a significant portion of their yearly sales with one day only and doorbuster promotions, Zyla said. Am I still connected? Can you hear me, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I get some messages flashing on the screen once in a while saying low connection and all that. Just checking if you can hear. Okay, little concern today with the origin of the name. Just a minute.
this I don't know, ma'am.
Sorry?
I don't know, ma'am. This one.
Okay, try adding something. See, check with several, do a trial and error thing and you'll be able to find it. It's a simple word actually.
Online sales shot up during Black Friday.
No, just a simple word. It's but. Okay, but have taken full advantage. Retailers have little concern today with the origin of the name, but have taken full advantage of its global recognition as a day to make a significant portion of their yearly sales. Okay. Then the next one, online sales dash during Black Friday 2019 reached a record $7.2 billion, up 14% from the previous year. Online sales dash.
Shot up.
Sorry?
Online sales shot up during Black Friday 2019.
Your voice is breaking. I did not hear you. What is the word? Just tell me what the word is.
Shot up, increased.
Sorry, didn't hear. What is it? Sorry again.
Increased.
Type it out if possible. Your voice is breaking. I cannot hear you. This is an example of adverb of focus. Okay. If you want any clue, increased, no. Increased, online sales increased during Black Friday. No. If you read it together, no, you are using two verbs and one verb without any object, so that you cannot use. Online sales, I'll give you a clue. This is an adverb of focus. Okay, that's also part of your syllabus in that week 11. Adverb of focus, viewpoint, and comment. Online sales dash during Black Friday reached a record $7.2 billion, up 14% from the previous year. Specifically during, you can say
particularly.
Yeah, you can use specifically or particular. You can use that, but I think the more appropriate option to use a focus adverb. You can use alone or only. Okay, online sales only. Online sales alone during Black Friday 2019 or only during Black Friday 2019 reached a record $7.2 billion. Okay, it's basically emphasizing. These are all things that you use within a sentence in order to bring out the impact that you want. Okay. Online sales, particularly during Black Friday, doesn't reach that's also correct, not wrong. But you can also use alone and only also. These are adverbs of focus. Okay. In case the question is to add adverbs of focus, then concentrate more on this. Specifically and particularly are adverbs of comment. Okay.
Can we use online sales?
Prashant, I couldn't hear you. Your voice is breaking. Okay, it's a great day for retailers, but Black Friday has represented the dark side of American consumerism too. Again, adverb of focus. Another word you can use is another word of focus to add to what you are saying. Also, right? But Black Friday has also represented the dark side of American consumerism. Or because it has two, it's a great day for retailers, but Black Friday has, since it has two, maybe we cannot use also because two adverbs of focus cannot go. So what else can we use? In case we did not have two, we could have used also, but since we have it, what can we use here? Some other adverb only. Any adverb can go there. Okay, either you use an adverb of frequency or manner, anything that supplies a good meaning there can be used. Okay, I'm going to use always. Okay, as always.
Moreover.
Sorry?
Moreover.
Has moreover represented the, no. Because see, if you're using something with additive value, then there is already two there at the end of the sentence. So you can't use double thing.
Next one, ma'am. I thought you were asking for next one. I thought you were asking for next one.
No. So Black Friday has always represented the dark side of American consumerism too. Then dash frenzied crowds competing for discounted merchandise have resulted in violence and injuries, including 12 deaths. Here you were saying moreover, right? Moreover, okay. You can use moreover, or you can use other prepositional phrases, anything. Okay, anything which gives meaning to that sentence is fine there. In the original article, it says over the years. Okay, over the years, frenzied crowds competing for discounted merchandise have resulted in violence and injuries. Okay. Okay, last one is if you do this a dash, if you do decide to participate in one of the biggest shopping days of the year, try to have a bit of compassion for others. Simple, simple connector. So, okay, you can say, so if you decide to participate in one of the biggest shopping days of the year, try to have a bit of compassion for others.
Whenever?
Whenever, no, because you already have if no. There is if already in the sentence. Without if, you can use whenever. And also because this is a full article, you need to ensure that there is good connection between the previous paragraph and the next one. So works better. Okay, so consider staying home and scoring deals from the safety of online platforms. And if you do have to go out, give yourself a break if your budget is tight this year. Dash Black Friday isn't the cheerful holiday retailers want you to believe it is.
Therefore.
Therefore, no. There is no reasoning here. If there was no full stop, you could have used because.
So.
But since there's a full stop there, you'll have to use something that gives meaning that is similar to that. So Black Friday is, and again that is reasoning, no? So that doesn't fit there. So Black Friday isn't the cheerful holiday retailers. No. Look at the sentence that goes before it. And if you do have to go out, give yourself a break if your budget is tight this year. After all, you can use the expression after all. Okay. After all, Black Friday isn't the cheerful holiday retailers want you to believe it is. Right. So this is again a prepositional phrase, right? So you can use prepositional phrases or adverbs of various kinds in order to connect between and within the sentence. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, you understand what after all means? No, it's again a contrast meaning. Okay. Contrary to express contrast or contrary nature of something, you use after all. Okay. Contrast word again, that is. Contrast word in the form of a prepositional phrase. Okay. Okay, all right. So what you can do is you can go over to the internet, find articles like this and separate out these phrases and words that are used as connectors. Make a list of it and see which one is a prepositional phrase, which one is an adverb, right? Keep this handy so that you can use them well while you're writing as well as you're answering the questions. In the exam, you mostly get the options, so it does not become that big a problem. But when you're using it independently without all of this, you don't have descriptive passages in exams, and even if you have, your blanks come with multiple choices. But when you're using it otherwise, when you're using language practically outside this course, it should be helpful to have a look at these things in detail. Initially have a list, and then with time, and continuous usage, you will automatically be very proficient in using them, okay, without having to look at the list all the time, right? Okay, so this is all about the contrast words or transition words and particularly connectors to be used between and among the sentences, okay? That's all for today. I think we did 4 exercises. That should be fine and enough for you to have an idea of how what the lectures were about and what we meant to do with them. Okay. Any questions that you have?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, then. Thank you. See you for the live session tomorrow. And all right, we'll close for today. Yeah, thank you for coming in.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, see you.